I'll take a little sauce off of it.
Little sauce. Gonna get that Zamboni on the ice in Philly. Yeah, I have no idea what gritty sounds like. I should look that up. He probably does sound like meow meow, like Cookie Monster.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It's an orange Cookie Monster. He's the meth monster. Okay. Introduction.
I just got that.
Okay.
Golly.
Welcome to the show.
I know. Well, that one flew around the top of my head.
All right. Maybe Gritty's not the only one on meth. Hey everyone, it's Elliot.
And Todd. Welcome to Two Designers Walk Into a Bar, an ongoing conversation about pop culture and iconic design.
Since it's October, we're going to jump into the next 2 episodes with Horror Month here in the bar.
Sure, regular listeners will wonder why this month is somehow different from any other, but don't worry, the quality is still the same.
Yeah, only this time we're talking about some characters created for the amusement of both the young and the young at heart.
That's right, we're going to be talking about the origin stories of monster cereals from General Mills and the mascot Gritty from the ice in Philly.
So order up a couple of corpse revivers.
We're moaning and groaning back here in the bar.
So Todd, speaking of some moaning and groaning, my stomach's rumbling. I could really go for a bowl of cereal.
Can I interest you then in one of 4 to possibly 6 flavors of marshmallow cereal then?
Oh, maybe there's a giant bowl behind the bar and you can just toss them all in there.
Golly, that would be so good.
Trick or treat style, you know.
Yeah, that's called Monster Mash, by the way.
Is it? There's a name for that? Okay.
Yeah, where they actually sold all the marshmallow pieces from all of them and labeled it Monster Mash. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Okay, podcast is over.
Well, can I say a little bit more? Because I love the monster cereals.
You jumped to the ending.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I sort of gave it away, but let me give you a little bit about how they became the monster cereals. 1971. You don't remember it because you weren't here yet.
I wasn't.
But I remember it. And for our listeners that were here, just think of this. 1971, Disney World had just opened. Attica, the prison, was still trying to recover from that horrible prison riot. John Lennon had just told us to imagine there's no heaven, and kids were pooping pink soft serve.
So I have a couple questions here based on what you just shared.
I thought that would set it up properly.
So the first question is, did you have to insert the word horrible if you're talking about a prison riot? I think that modifier is sort of understood.
You think that was a word that we didn't need to use? It was
yeah, it was right there. And then the second one is pooping pink soft serve. Can you? I don't want to say. Can you unpack that a little bit? That would be a little too on the nose. But I can't think of another phrase to use right now.
But you said it.
I did, and here we
are.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. So General Mills released the monster cereals in 1971. Count Chocula, Boo Berry, and Frankenberry.
Did you say
favorite.
Pooh Berry?
No, I didn't mean to, but I could have slipped in. So this was all part of General Mills' broader strategy to dominate the kids' cereal market. And they were capitalizing on 3 really powerful trends of the time. First of all, kids love monsters. I don't care what those nightmares tell you. Kids love monsters in the late 60s and early 70s. Major monster craze because the Universal monster movies, you know, your Dracula, your Frankenstein, your Mummy, they were on TV annually. And then, I don't know if you're familiar with Aurora models.
Oh, yeah.
They made these cool, and I had these best-selling models of Dracula and Frankenstein and Werewolf, and they were super cool.
And they were sort of like, if I remember them correctly, if I'm explaining them right, they were sort of like action figures, but they weren't toys. Like, they weren't posable, right?
No.
But they were like statues, like small statues.
They were like
paint them.
maquettes.
Yeah.
They were great. They were great. I know I had at least those three: Dracula, Frankenstein, and werewolf. So another thing is there was kind of, monsters weren't being used in a funny way. And so they saw this opportunity.
Was the Munsters on during this period? Or was this like after the Munsters?
It was after the Munsters. Yeah, it was after the Munsters.
But
so,
I guess where I'm going with that, there was like Dracula, obviously Frankenstein, werewolf, etc.
Right.
They had been used in a comedic or more approachable way at this point.
They had been, but not for products.
No. But I mean, outside of just horror movies.
Right. Yeah. So the field was ripe for that. And the last thing from General Mills' perspective to dominate the market was there was this hole in the market to sell different flavors besides corn or oat flavored.
Interesting. So you used the word hole. Are we back to pink poop already? Or
okay, sorry.
What are we doing here, Todd?
I shouldn't have stuck that in there, should I?
Don't use that phrase either.
Okay, this is really it started off the rails. I wonder if we can even get it to the rails.
Okay, let's do our best to course correct here.
Back at that time, and I'm sure, when you were little, it was still the case, Saturday morning cartoons ruled.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah.
It was this boom of Saturday morning cartoons, which we didn't know then like we know now. They were really just giant advertisers that we would,
Hold on, what?
Watch.
What?
Yeah, I know, sorry. And cereal brands such as Tony the Tiger or the Trix Rabbit were doing really well in sales. Those characters were really driving it.
They're great. Yeah, this reminds me of the conversation we had with our friends over at the Kirk and Kurtz podcast. We'll put a link to that in the episode notes because we talk all about Tony the Tiger, among others.
Yes,
right?
hearing Kirk go on about how his dad loved Tony the Tiger,
Yes,
and then going into all the family of Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, which we knew nothing about. He has this whole diagram. He had thumbtacks and pictures and orange string on a corkboard connecting Tony's extended family tree. It was kind of crazy.
It was crazy. Okay, back to the flavors. Right out of the gate, they launched two opposing flavors, Count Chocula, chocolate, and Frankenberry, which was strawberry.
Okay. No vanilla?
No.
Well, that's fine. I mean, if you're going to get pink poop right out of the gate, I mean, Count Chocula, you're not going to notice anything, but you throw Frankenberry in there and all of a sudden it gets exciting, right?
Well, I think you kind of nailed it on that one. So, yes. Kids started pinking poop. Kids started pooping pink is actually what they did. And one of the doctors who was reporting this abnormality, because, obviously then you go to the hospital if you start pinking. Shit, I can't even say it. You start pooping.
Shit's
pink,
the problem.
Soft serve. Yeah, right. So anyway, one of the doctors who was treating a young person with this
affliction.
Disease. He said, okay, this is a quote right from the medical record, Elliot. You ready? So this is official.
Okay, this is from like JAMA or one of these scholarly publications we often refer to for this podcast.
Yeah. Now, remember, the mom and the dad are freaking out because their kid, they think they have some internal damage.
Well, their kid's his guts are getting attacked by a monster, yeah.
Yeah, well, so the doctor says, and I quote, "The stool had no abnormal odor, but looked like strawberry ice cream."
Todd, they say Montezuma works in mysterious ways.
I guess they do, Elliot. Well, they called this one Frankenberry stool.
Oh, okay. That was
turned out it was harmless. It was harmless. It was due to the pigment that they used to color the Frankenberry.
I think
cereal.
Frankenberry stool would be an amazing name for like a potty training setup. I think General Mills could have gone into other product lines.
Dude, I think it would be awesome as like a horrorcore punk band.
Oh, Frankenberry stool.
Yeah,
they could open for the Misfits or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And yeah. That'd be great. Okay, back on this.
We're never going to get through this pink poop.
No, I know. We're sorry, listeners. There's too much good stuff in here.
So to speak.
Just to close the loop on that part, they did end up changing the pigment. So there was a reformulation and stopped the pink stools. But anyway, here's where we were launching. We had these 2 flavors. Boo Berry came a little bit later. And
Pooh Berry.
Well, actually, okay, I got to share this. I know this is going to go off the rails. Boo Berry was causing green stools, but it was less noticeable. It didn't really shock anybody.
Yeah, there's other stuff that can make your poo green. I do know that much.
So these 2 characters, Count Chocula and Frankenberry, they were launched as these sort of bickering, lovable, fun monsters. And in 1969, General Mills, they actually asked their agency, who is dancer Fitzgerald Sample, to come up with some character-driven serials for a pitch. The lead copywriter, a woman named Laura Levine, she says at the time, the whole concept was monsters, but monsters who were scaredy cats. They'd act tough, and then they'd be terrified by the sight of a little kitten.
I like
you see
that.
What she did there?
I like
the
that.
scaredy cats and the little kitten.
Sort of like the cowardly lion in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they were lovable monsters. And this kind of, they kind of came with a pedigree of development experts. The illustrator George Carn, who was known for the Trix Rabbit, way back in 1959, he sketched up the first visual concepts. And about those concepts, in case there's one person out there who may not have seen these serials, Frankenberry has a gigantic pink head and porthole eyes, exhaust and gauges coming from his head, based on Frankenstein, but gigantic and pink.
Yeah.
And he has one big bottom tooth for some reason.
Like Sarge from Beetle Bailey.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's where the inspiration was. The Count Chocula, he was brown. He had this long head, accentuated nose, pointy hair, and he had 2 big upper teeth for some reason. Because
I think
guess
those are called fangs, Todd.
No, look at them. They're kind of right in the middle. They weren't your canines. They were
he was a
whatever the front ones are.
A buck-toothed vampire.
Yeah.
So he was a country vampire.
So you really knew if you'd been bitten by him.
I'm a-fixin' to bite you.
Would you let me get through this? Would you let me get through this real
sorry,
quick?
I want to segue into Deliverance, but I'm not going to. That's a different kind of horror story. Yeah.
And just of the top 3, again, let me just talk about Boo Berry. Boo Berry, I'm going to assume, was a he because he was blue, purple, ghost-like thing. And he looked high AF, man. Boo Berry, I don't know why, but he looked crazy. And he wore this
because he was actually made from smoke.
Yeah, and he wore this weird yellow hat, and he was more of a loner. He didn't sort of get into the fight. But anyway.
He wasn't active enough. That would take too much energy.
He was like, dudes, chill.
He's like, whoever the loser is, I'm going to eat him. I'm so hungry.
I'm going to eat some of you, man. They were brought to life by an animator you might have heard of, Bill Melendez, who did Peanuts, and he crafted the original Monster Rivalry commercials. So the whole campaign was just rooted in top-notch expertise, man.
Okay, well, Todd, if anyone's listened to our past episodes where we talk about characters, part of the mystique, the magic, what really brings the characters to life is, of course, their voices. So, I mean, if you got this deep bench of talent, did that also include voice talent?
Yes, of course. Top notch. And not that what you were doing earlier was not a real rival to these actors, because I think you really got a place in the voiceover world, Elliot.
Thank you.
But these are some folks that you might have heard of. A guy named Bob McFadden voiced Frank. He was also the voice of Snarf on Thundercats, which came a little bit later.
Yeah, in the 80s.
And he was the voice of the parrot. This was probably before your time, but it was another ad for Whisk where he would go, ring around the collar. So he was that.
Oh, yeah,
well.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
You know how I love tying shit together.
Speaking of birds that endorse products, do we know who did the owl in the Tootsie Roll ad?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head, but we have to find out now.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. But, it was none of these people we're talking about.
No. So a guy named Larry Kinney, who did Count Chocula's voice, he also was the voice of Sonny from Cocoa Puffs. You know, like he was
Goes
cuckoo
for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, there you go. And he was Lion-O from Thundercats. And then lastly, guy who's been around for a long time, Paul Frees. He was Boo Berry, but he was also Toucan Sam. He was the Doughboy, and he was Boris Badenoff from the Bullwinkle and Rocky show. So been around.
When you say Doughboy, you mean the Pillsbury Doughboy,
The
not
Pillsbury
like Doughboy.
Doughboy. He did the giggle, yeah.
Yeah, not from the John Singleton movie.
No, not that
That's
one. That was a real actor that did that.
Well, Paul Frees is a real actor. He's just a voice actor. Don't sell these people short.
Yeah, okay. All right. I know that you know, and probably our listeners know, that there were other monster cereals at one time.
Yes.
They kind of meh. So just real quick, there was Fruit Brute, who was a werewolf, launched in 74, but pulled in 82. Slight revival when there was a lot more interest in the monster cereals here in the 2000s. There was Yummy Mummy in 88. That was around for a couple years.
Yeah, Yummy Mummy now is a slang term.
I didn't know that. What is it?
Yeah, it's a synonym for basically for a MILF.
Oh, okay. Well, that does make sense, doesn't it?
People can Google that. That's outside of the scope of this podcast.
You know,
it's a British term. Our friend Paul would know all about it.
You get so much value from this podcast.
I'm telling you, man,
culture.
we have our hands in so many different things. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I probably need to wash my hands when we're done here.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay. Lastly, a recent addition was a zombie DJ, their very first female character named Carmela Creeper. But let me tell you a funny story about Saatchi & Saatchi, the advertising agency from 1990s, General Mills, that were pitching some new characters. See if you think these would fly.
Okay.
Bride of Frankenberry. Phantom Berry.
So what flavor would that be?
I don't know.
Like, do these all have flavors tied to them?
Yeah, I mean, it was a berry.
Like
flavor.
probably like strawberry, raspberry kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Probably strawberry, raspberry, Phantom Berry.
Okay.
Don't really know. It was probably a berry mixture. There was Jekyllberry, Dr. Jekyllberry, if you're more formal. And then Berry Patra. Get a take on Cleopatra, who was a mummy lady. So, no surprise, these projects were ultimately shelved and not in the grocery store shelves.
What about like Chuck Berry? You know, they could have gotten a celebrity tie-in, you know, something like that. Barry Gordy.
I'm sorry. Yeah. What about our friend from the Gong Show, man?
Oh, or Barry White.
See, you could really go a lot of places with just Barry.
Yeah. So Saatchi & Saatchi, if you guys need any ideas, Todd and I are available.
We're here. All right. I'm going to wrap this up by telling you about a couple little lasting pop culture tie-ins. So fans of Quentin Tarantino movies, particularly Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, will recognize Fruit Brute has made an appearance in both of those.
Eric Stoltz's character in Pulp Fiction's eating Fruit Brute.
Evidently Quentin is a fan of Fruit Brute.
It's great.
The street artist Kaws, Kaws, created limited boxes recently for the 50th anniversary, and those were inspired by the vintage designs, but as late as...
So, wait, hold on. So was this legitimate? Or
Yeah.
Okay. It was commissioned. Okay.
Yeah, those were actually sold in stores. But as an extension of that, in 2024, March of 2024, Kaws actually launched 4 figures representing the original 4 monsters. So, you know, Kaws does these sort of 3D character statue things, which would be really cool, and they were probably $1 bazillion. But folks, Elliot and I will accept them if you'd like to send us one.
Exactly. Or 2 or 3.
Or 2. Yeah, right. Count Chocula and Frankenberry actually starred in a Marvel comic book in the 70s too, if you can believe
Yeah, that tracks. That was when every, product had a comic book tie-in.
There was always a cross promotion of some kind, and that carried through obviously with the Universal monster theme ads, and even a Scooby-Doo and Casper crossover, in some cartoon spots, because that's what you did in the 70s.
Well, I remember, in one of the intros, or the intro to Scooby-Doo, when it was like, Scooby-Doo, where are you? I think Frankenstein makes an appearance in every one of those intros, doesn't he?
Oh, Frankenstein or Frankenberry?
No, Frankenstein.
Okay, I'm saying Frankenberry did a crossover with Scooby-Doo and Casper.
Did General Mills ever make Scooby snacks?
Somebody did. I don't know who made that, but we can. All right,
we'll have to look that up. That's going to be
somebody
another.
Did though.
Fictitious products as actual products, Todd. That'll need to be a future episode.
All right, writing the topic down. All right. Lastly, I think everybody knows this. If you don't, I'm sorry if you've been searching all year long for monster cereals, but they were originally available all year long, but now they've just been sort of repositioned around Halloween as a tradition. And what this does is it creates more scarcity. You can only get them one time a year, creates this more pop phenomenon. And also it helps kind of foster the nostalgic feeling from generation to generation.
Scarcity, huh?
Yeah, funny to talk about monster product and say scarcity, right?
Yeah, I get it. Aside from your humor, you know what else is frightening? Our bartender has nothing to do, and this drink is vanishing right before my eyes.
Sounds like you're hinting at another cocktail appearing in front of you.
Hey, great idea. I do need to calm my nerves after all this talking about monsters. You should get yourself one, too.
Of course, Elliot. We'll be right back.
Oh, one request, nothing pink, please.
Hi. We want to take a moment to mention that if you're enjoying this episode, we have an archive of topics ranging from the Olympics to movie posters.
Think Ghostbusters.
Iconic images.
Think Bigfoot.
Punk music.
The Ramones.
Saturday morning cartoons.
The Pink Panther.
And failed products like OK Soda. Visit our website at twodesignerswalkintoabar.com for full episode notes and visuals, the latest blog content, and to sign up for our newsletter.
Follow us on social media. We can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Find the links on our website or search using the phrase "Two Designers Walk Into a Bar."
Most importantly, leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps more people like you find podcasts like this.
And tell a friend about us. Send them a link to our podcast from your listening platform of choice.
And if you're inclined, buy our merchandise. Stickers, coasters, magnets, t-shirts. We're designers. We make good stuff, and it helps support the show.
Get in touch. Use the contact form on our website or send an email to hello@twodesignerswalkintoabar.com.
We read every message we get. Honest.
And we're available for speaking gigs. Email us to learn more.
Okay, now, back to the bar. All right, welcome back, everybody. No pink drinks, as you heard Elliot's request. We're not going to do that.
But I do like that the bartender had a marshmallow garnish for us. I think that was lovely.
It's a fancy place that we come to.
Yeah, dry ice, Yeah. My drink is smoking. I hope they put dry ice in it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been drinking out of it. Yeah, otherwise. Is your face starting to get numb too?
Well, just let me know if I need to take you to the doctor and have you examined for Frankenberry stool.
Yeah, Dr. Jekyll is going to examine me for
Dr. Jekyllberry. All right, so I had talked about monsters that represented some flavored cereals. They never appeared live in a setting. They were always 2D on a box or a TV screen. But you're going to talk about one that is real to life, right?
Yes. So
sort of.
Let's
I'm not
shift
sure
gears.
how we refer to this creature.
Well, he's real enough, believe me. He's
Yeah.
real enough he got an assault charge against him, which we'll get to. So, that's reality, real physical interaction, I guess. So the monster, some would regard him as a monster. Others would simply regard him as a lovable mascot. I'm not sure who those people are, though, because I regard Gritty, okay, the mascot for the Philadelphia Flyers hockey team. I regard Gritty as sort of the dude of mascots. Because, Todd, I don't want to call him a hero because, what's a hero?
Yeah,
But he is the mascot for his time and place. Okay? So the time is now, or at least the late 20-teens, so not that long ago. The place, as we've just mentioned, Philadelphia. Okay?
Philly Ice.
Yes. So, Todd, do you think you could spot Gritty in a police lineup?
Oh, yeah. I think there's also a high likelihood he'd find himself in a police lineup.
Only appropriate in a city that has to grease all the poles to keep people from climbing them when there's a sports victory.
A lot of spirit.
Yeah, that's spirits and spirit.
Yeah.
So for the uninitiated out there, let me describe Gritty for you so that you'll have nightmares the next time you fall asleep. He's sort of like, Todd, you tell me what you think of my description.
Okay.
He's sort of like if you ate mushrooms,
Nailed it.
really waited for them to kick in,
Nailed it.
then you walked into McDonald's and found Grimace waiting for you. Only Grimace looked really, really fucked up. And it looked like he'd also been hanging out at McDonald's, eating mushrooms, and waiting for you. How about that? Would you say that's... Okay, all right.
I couldn't add anything to that. Yeah.
Well, the Flyers have a slightly different description than I do. So I want to pull their description verbatim from their website. Okay, and I quote, Gritty is the official mascot of the Philadelphia Flyers. Gritty is best known for his uniquely Philadelphian personality, as well as his Flyers fandom. All right. Standing at 7 feet tall, with non-blinking googly eyes,
not creepy,
covered head to toe in orange fur and an unkempt beard, Gritty's appearance is inimitable. Gritty's edgy personality and temperamental attitude have allowed him to push the envelope of what is possible or acceptable for a team mascot. I like that caveat.
Yeah.
To wrap up here, an unwavering love for the Philadelphia Flyers is at the foundation of Gritty's core. Through the ups, downs, and everything in between, Gritty will always bleed orange. Unquote.
He may have the ability to bleed orange, but I think Gritty is going to cause a lot more bleeding on other people.
It's going to be orange, red, who knows, black,
just
blue.
Bleed your standard red.
It's going to be a lot of different colors happening. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit to this because also naturally he wears Philadelphia Flyers gear, right? His jersey number is 00. He also has black hockey pants, a helmet, and ice skates when he's on the ice as well. So he's very much in the mold of the Philly Fanatic, the mascot for the Phillies baseball team.
All right. So what's his origin story? Can you tell me how he began?
Okay. Well, do you want the myth or do you want the reality?
Oh, wow. Both kind of sound interesting. How about them?
Okay. I'll throw them both in there.
All right.
So let's start with where they both line up. Gritty was introduced, Todd, on September 24th, 2018.
Okay.
So according to his official biography, I love this. He emerged after construction at the Wells Fargo Center. The Flyers' home arena disturbed his secret hideout. I'm thinking this might be a sewer pipe. Like, what is his secret hideout?
I'm getting serial killer vibes off of this.
Yeah. His compound. Yeah, I don't know. And there's a great gallery of shots of Gritty in action on the Flyers website.
Yeah.
We'll put a link to that on our episode page because some of these shots are pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure these shots must have been used for evidence along a police lineup somewhere.
Todd, you're jumping ahead in the plot here. We'll get to Gritty's checkered past in a minute.
Okay.
Here's the true story. Prior to the 2019 NHL season, there were only 2 National Hockey League teams that didn't have an official mascot, and one of them was the Philadelphia Flyers. The other one was the New York Rangers.
Okay.
So the Flyers actually did have a mascot, Slapshot. I don't know what Slapshot looks like. We'll have to look up Slapshot, especially because this was in the mid-'70s.
Oh, yeah.
God only knows. So maybe Slapshot went back underground, took a nap for a few decades, and emerged as Gritty, kind of chud-like.
Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the impetus behind Gritty started when the Flyers marketing staff attended the mascot events at the 2016 NHL All-Star Game in Nashville, Tennessee, and they realized, I don't know why it took them this long.
They had to go see all of the mascots to realize we don't have a mascot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they were missing out on all of the marketing and community outreach programs that the other mascots were generating for their teams. So it's like, this is actually a community relations and marketing device. Who knew? So they commissioned Brian Allen of a firm called Flyland Designs in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, to design Gritty in August of 2018. And this is where Gritty and the Philly Fanatic are kissing cousins here, because David Raymond, the guy who at the time portrayed the Philly Fanatic, he was the consultant on the creation of Gritty. I love that. One mascot's consulting on the creation of another one. Actually, it's kind of smart, I think.
I mean, don't you want to know what that conversation's like?
I would love to know.
You got to wave your hands more, or it's like I want to see what the manual says. I got
to be able to do backflips with this head on.
I want to read the manual of Gritty.
Yeah. What's the baseline criteria? The other thing I want to see the rejected sketches for Gritty. I want to see what didn't make the cut. Okay, because according to Allen, the Flyers organization wanted Gritty to have a rather intimidating appearance as, and this is a quote, someone you'd high five but not hug.
Or meet in a dark alley. Somehow, how was this received when he debuted?
All right, here's why I referenced the dude earlier. He was perfect for social media, okay? So Gritty's odd appearance and stunts on Twitter, such as threatening the Pittsburgh Penguins mascot. I mean, you got a cross-state rivalry there.
Yeah, you might as well.
And recreating Kim Kardashian's Break the Internet photo. You remember that? The one with the champagne? Yeah. No. It gained him more followers than any other NHL mascot in a matter of days.
That's brilliant.
So, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. So, Todd, in his first on-ice appearance, Gritty fell while firing T-shirts into the crowd from one of those cannons. So, I guess he hadn't figured out how to ice. He's not a multitasker, Gritty, or at least he wasn't at the time.
Seems like a simple guy.
Yeah, but in true Philly style, Todd, in his second appearance on the ice, Gritty body checked contestants in a goalie race during an intermission. And then he shot a Flyers staff member with the T-shirt cannon. I referenced this earlier, but do you remember the scandal when Gritty allegedly punched a kid?
When you said that, I was trying to think. I couldn't remember the details, but now that you said that, I know a little bit about it, but I'm always eager to hear more drama, man.
All right. Yeah, this is where we get into the checkered past of Gritty, or model citizen if you're in Philadelphia. Okay. So in November of 2019, during a fan meet and greet between Gritty and Flyers season ticket holders, one of the parents reported that the Flyers employee portraying Gritty, punched their 13-year-old son in the back.
Whoa.
Yeah, brutal. But after an internal investigation by the Flyers led to no other witnesses of such abuse. Yeah, I mean, this was a fan meet and greet. You'd think there'd be plenty of people who saw it, right? Especially with cell phones and everything else. The fan then reported the incident to the Philadelphia Police Department, which opened its own investigation. Wow. Yeah, so this is nuts. But on February 3rd, 2020, that following February, the Flyers employee portraying Gritty was officially cleared of any wrongdoing and charges were not filed.
Gritty, arraigned but acquitted. Dun,
Absolutely.
dun.
You know, he was a free like a Boyd.
Yeah.
So he then went on, Todd, sort of a pop culture odyssey. He appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
He was on Family Guy. He was on Abbott Elementary.
Which is set in Philadelphia.
Naturally. Okay,
Yeah.
now, Todd, are you sitting down?
Yeah. Okay, I am now.
Okay. He's also appeared on WWE.
Stop it.
I mean, makes sense. I mean, he certainly
Yeah.
has all the credentials.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
that makes sense. I was going to ask you about that one in particular, but yeah, definitely needs to be on that.
Hold on, and there's one more here. He was also on The Amazing Race when the season finale was held in Philly.
So he's still roaming the streets of Philadelphia today, representing the, let me see, character of the city.
Yeah, that's one way to phrase it. Okay, but in all seriousness, I do want to finish with a very, very sweet story.
Okay.
I'm not even being sarcastic here. I might tear up when I tell this story.
Oh, okay.
In 2019, there was a little boy named Jack Callahan, and he was battling an aggressive form of cancer at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and he was turning 4. So he was a young kid.
Yeah, wow.
And he loved mascots, and he became aware of Gritty after being transferred from a hospital in Virginia to Philadelphia so he could get care. So his family, his parents were both athletes, actually here in North Carolina, Todd.
Oh, okay.
So his first love was Ramses. But then when he went to Philadelphia, he found out about Gritty. And Gritty was new at this point. This was sort of right at the beginning.
Oh, right.
So he fell in love with Gritty. And his family wrote a letter to Gritty on behalf of Jack, and it ended up taking off online. So you can see this. We'll put a link to this article on our website. And 3 weeks later, Gritty was at Jack's birthday party at the hospital with lots of gifts to celebrate the little boy's grit and all of the other kids.
Story.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I absolutely love that. It's very sweet.
That's a great story. I know that made that kid's birthday all that more special, and not being around and not being in home and not being around your regular friends and having this celebrity basically come in and shower you with
a very conspicuous celebrity.
Well, you definitely have to post a link to that full story, and I would say that's a great way to end it. This is a perfect place to end it, I think.
You're right. In fact, I think we should celebrate with a drink.
You know what? You've caught me in a good mood, man. You don't need to trick me. It's my treat.
How about a couple of Clover Clubs, a good Philly cocktail?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
You should order something for yourself, too.
Okay. See you next time, everyone.
Huh. Maybe a cheesesteak.
Now you're pushing it.